start my story, I'm going to say really quickly that if you like history and prostitution, you should come to my show at Minnesota Fringe, Burning Brothels, Sex and Death in Nevada, as an audience at Minnesota Fringe. And here's my story, which has nothing to do with that show. My friend Susanna comes up to me one day in front of my locker and she says, 5. And I am so jealous. She hasn't even told me the story yet, but I know Susanna. And I know that whatever it is, it's gonna be good. And I asked, who was it? It's not a numbers thing. We use numbers as code to talk to each other in school, but it's not the point. I mean, I feel a little self-conscious that Susanna's now at 5 and I'm only at 3, but 3 is still pretty slutty for high school. And anyway, the point is the experience, whether there's penetration or not. The point is who has the best story to tell. And I still feel like Susanna is always winning. Yes, we're in high school. I'm a senior, she's a junior, and that seems young to me now, but at the time, we did not feel young. We were mature and sophisticated, but especially Susanna. She was always just a little ahead of me, a little more raunchy, a little more daring, a little more adult. I mean, I dated high school guys. Not the popular ones, they were boring. I dated the math team. Not the entire math team. But actually, by the time I graduated, pretty close. I dated my friends, the guys I felt comfortable with. And I can say this for every boyfriend I had in high school, whether we slept together or not. They adored me. And they were inexperienced, but they were creative and willing to learn. And none of them was ever selfish in that respect, which I wish I could say has also been true in my adult life. I was happy. I had all the excitement I needed. And the truth was, I really didn't want to get a fake ID so I could hang out with Susanna at smoky bars. I didn't drink. I hated cigarettes. And I enjoyed Susanna's stories, but I certainly didn't want to go to parties where people were experimenting with cocaine. The problem was I thought I should want these things. I thought a more interesting and glamorous person would want those things. And I tried once to live life on Susanna's level. She was dating this college guy and she took me to a party near McAllister College. And I was so bored. And it was loud and people were drunk and acting stupid and Susanna, I mean, I always thought the reason that she could keep up with college guys and I couldn't was that she was smart enough to keep up with them. I mean, I was smart too. Susanna could name the leaders of countries I could barely find on a map. She could get into fierce debates about politics in the UK, and I would be too embarrassed to ask, what's a Tory? But Susanna was not talking international politics at this party. She wasn't acting like Susanna at all. Everything her college guy said, she would giggle and bat her eyes, and he really was not that funny. I started to hate him because, as far as he knew, she was just a ditzy 16-year-old with a hot body, and what kind of college student is interested in 16-year-old ditzes? I left the party after half an hour. She and the college guy broke up a couple of days afterwards, I think, so I was happy about that. And then she started a flirtation with this coworker at this restaurant where she was working. And he was 30 and from a different country. And then she came to school one Monday and she held up 7 fingers. And she was grinning and I thought, damn it, she's winning again. And then she said, well, I think so. I don't really remember what happened. And I said, what? And she said that this co-worker had gotten her very drunk that weekend. Very deliberately, she said. He kept handing her the bottle and saying, have some more, and then he offered to take her home, and it was all kind of a blur, and she didn't really remember very clearly, but she thought that somewhere along the way, he might have had sex with her. And I said, Susanna, that's not okay. And she said, yeah, I know. I thought about reporting it, but I wouldn't want to get cares? He's an asshole. He raped you. She said, well, it's not a big deal. Not only was she still smiling, but it was the same smile that she had for every story like this that she'd ever told me. And for the first time, I did not feel like she was winning at all.